probably responsible for making sure the sweaters and pants match the same color. Almost there. Not quite.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome inside historic Schneider Arena here in Providence, Rhode Island. Home, of course, of the Providence Friars. And after the Friar men's team got off the ice, we now resume the JWHL Providence leg of the season. And we are off to the 16 and under division. Ironbound Elite out of Newark, New Jersey. They'll be in the blue uniforms, tucked in there below us in the bench off to our left. And on the right, out of Prince Edward Island, Charlottetown, the Mount Academy Saints will be in the white uniforms. Mason Stalf, I'll be with you all through the day. We had a 9 a.m. puck drop in the 19 and under division, and now off to the 16 and under. Matchup number 2 of what is a long 5-matchup day here in the JWHL. But a much larger crowd now that people have started to come in here inside historic Schneider Arena. This is obviously one of the hallowed grounds for the sport of women's ice hockey. I'm a historical nut, so we'll probably take you through some of the great things that have happened here in the sport of women's ice hockey as the matchup goes on. But first, we have to get this one underway. Again, you have the Mount Academy to the right. White sweaters, black numbers trimmed in red with black and white stripes down the back. And the Mount Academy insignia emblazoned across the chest. And on the other side, Ironbound Elite out of Newark. Navy blue sweaters, slightly off navy pants, big white numbers on the back, and that big predominant white stripe around the waist area. Should be a good one. It was an entertaining opener, if not necessarily close in terms of scoreline, and the slight delay you can see there as the officiating crew just make sure that net is anchored accordingly and the net is spread out. These two nets were taking an absolute peppering as, again, the Friar men's team was practicing in about 2 hours between the conclusion of our first game and this one. We are underway. Face-off won by Ironbound Elite. 3 17-minute periods. We'll cut the ice after 2 in this 16 and under division. Dumped down there deep by Ironbound Elite, but that is going to be icing as Morgan Barbosa got held up a little bit. Could not track down the puck before it had scampered down past the far red line. And we will retreat to the other end of the ice. Offensive zone face-off for Mount Academy. Again, out of Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, about 10.5 hours if you were to not stop once. And of course, you're going to have to stop to get across the border. And you can't go that quick in a coach bus. I'm not sure this is one of those teams. Did they fly? Did they drive? Really not sure. Certainly Ironbound driving up, not too far of a drive from Newark, New Jersey. About 4 hours, probably a stop along the way. Up I-95 to get here to Providence, Rhode Island. Played off the carom, brought across the red line. Barbosa gets held up there a little bit. Battling forward against the boards, Lily Spurl for Mount Academy. And the Saints come away with it. Lewis, the alternate captain, gains the red line and then flips it in there deep. Giving chase is Emily LeBlanc. But it's taken away before she can get her stick on it. And moving the other direction is Ironbound Elite, and they get the first really clear-cut scoring opportunity of the day. Outstanding save on Ava Gunthel. For Mount Academy, they have Haley Turnbull in their net. They have a couple really good goalies on this team. Yi Peng not starting this one, as that one took an ugly hop, could have gone anywhere. Goalie had to be alert to it. In the goal off to our left, Olivia Park is in net for Ironbound Elite as she peers over her right post. Taken by one of the tallest players out there, if not the tallest, Tysha Kirkham, number 77. Very easy to pick her out as she patrols and calls for the puck inside that red circle. And we're going to have a very early penalty inside the opening 2.5 minutes. And Ironbound Elite are going to go down a player as Sasha Wiener will head to the box. So 2 minutes in the penalty box for Wiener and Ironbound Elite. We'll see what Mount Academy can make with it. In our first game earlier today, we saw a shorthanded goal in the first period and then a power play goal in the third. There were not a lot of penalties called in the first 20 minutes of that one between the U19 groups from Washington and Quebec. But then there were a lot of penalties in the second and third periods as Mount Academy tries to draw the shot. Instead, it's the block from Anna Wittmer. And whipped down ice just past the outstretched stick of the retreating Leslie Kadihi. And now Kadihi takes it back. Halfway through the woman up advantage, and really nothing doing so far for Mount Academy. Two players collide, no call. Slow going for the Saint, regaining her feet. And she is going to head toward the bench area for a change. So far, really strong penalty kill for Ironbound Elite. Nothing doing for Mount Academy thus far. And we're going to have an elbowing call. And now we will play 4-on-4, and not a lot of protest either. So Emma Power will head to the penalty box. And for the next 33 seconds, we will play 4-on-4 ice hockey. And assuming that nothing happens in those 33 seconds, then Ironbound will play just shy of a minute and a half with their woman up advantage. Dunked in there by Rian Camo. That one scooted out toward the crease area and knocked free. With the players playing 4-on-4, we can have icing again on both ends of the ice. So got to be careful if you just launch something deep. Ironbound just trying to hold it right in there on the blue line. Winners out of the box, so now 5-on-4 in favor of Ironbound. And that is a pass that does not meet its intended target. 2-on-3, slapper comes through. Save in there by Turnbull. Another look, but that one's cut out before it could reach the crease by the defensewoman. Wiener, freshly out of the penalty box, gets doubled up there, moves it out to her teammate Snyder. That one whipped through. Turnbull directs it downward. Taken in there deep by Camo. But the play will be blown dead. 12:08 to play in the first. Again, we play 17-minute periods in the 16 and under division. We'll have 2 games in the 16Us. This 1 o'clock and then later at 5 o'clock. We still have a couple of more 19 and under games as well coming your way at 3 and 7. Fast and furious ice hockey from here on out from the JWHL. Part of this 2 showcase New England swing, as we'll return just after the new year to hit up Boston. Good puck movement from Ironbound, who have really controlled the puck play early. Match it. Behind the net to her teammate, Jasitis. Match it, gets it back. Tried to direct the cross, but it went off the outstretched stick of the captain, Megan Goldie, wearing the captain's C across her chest. And that one's gloved and held by Turnbull. 2 seconds left on the power play, so barring a quick hitter here, both teams will kill off their initial penalties. Both teams go for a full line change. 5 fresh skaters out on the ice for Ironbound. Fresh 4 for Mount Academy. That one directed left. Here comes the skater out of the box for Mount Academy, and we play even strength hockey once again. One last look, though. I always like to say that every power play has about 5 more seconds to it, because it takes time for that skater to get out of the box and back into the play, and very nearly an even strength goal, but coming out of a power play. But we remain goalless as Ironbound again gains their attacking zone. Both teams battling up against one another, taken back by Mount Academy. Up toward LeBlanc, but it escapes her stick. And the defensewoman on the right side knocks it back in there deep, giving chase. Are the Elite. Held in there right at the blue line, skirted back in there by Alexis Glassifer. LeBlanc in a 50-50 battle with Ulselton. Now it's Ulselton who gives chase, but icing will be whistled against Ironbound, and we'll go to the far end of the ice. 10:19 to play, first period. Hotly contested. Both teams have been whistled for a penalty so far. Neither team has scored off of it. Best play so far, Haley Turnbull denying an attacker right on the doorstep on a breakaway. Dribbling through traffic, giving it up to Ulselton again. Ulselton tried to go with the cross-ice pass to Barbosa, but cut off, and now you can see the speed of the alternate captain, Sarah Lewis, as she darts in to try and put some forechecking pressure on. Through the middle, Wiener. Pass across, gorgeous speed! Hannah Whitmer on a gorgeous dish. And a perfect one-timer. That's all created by Whitmer, and she gets it to Barbosa, who gets the opener at 7:12 of this first period.
Okay, I had a bunch of problems with the clock. I think I got 15.
Just an outstanding piece of teamwork there to create the play. Whitmer to Barbosa. It's an Ironbound team. All but 3 players on their roster, part of the 2025 class. They have 3 2024s. Talia Stein Trujillo, number 4, along with Ava Gunthel, number 16, and the goaltender who is not in net for this one, Leona Kolb. Everybody else for that 2025 group, as that one came through the painted area on a cross-ice pass from Jasitis. It's been all Ironbound in terms of possession in this first period, and they have the opening goal. DeFino surveys things, gets punched in there behind. Ironbound just seems to be a little bit quicker to the puck right now, as that one's gobbled up by Turnbull, who freezes with 8:42, just shy of the midpoint of this 17-minute first period. Mention that this is one of the more important grounds for women's college ice hockey. Even though it's the men's team that has the national championship banner up in the rafters, the women's college game and the women's game in general really started here in terms of people taking notice. When you talk about when women's ice hockey really started to get noticed by the national audience outside of Canada, where of course hockey's always been a thing. But things really came to a head in 1998 with that first Olympic competition that featured women's ice hockey in Nagano, Japan. And the United States, which won gold in that inaugural event, of the 20-member roster, 7 of them were Providence Friars. As that one gets kicked aside, closest that Mount Academy has come to equalizing in this first period, as the icing goes down the other way. But that 1998 USA women's national team Again, 7 players playing their collegiate hockey for Providence, including, of course, the captain, Cami Granato, whose number 21 is emblazoned on the wall off to my right. But this is a team that has just produced so many outstanding players. More recently, the likes of Canadian gold medalist Geneviève Lacasse and current graduate student and Swedish national team player Sarah Hjalmarsson. But that 98 team, part of the Providence College Athletic Hall of Fame. As that one backhanded and dunked in there deep by Lewis. Gave chase. There was a minute there where it looked like Park was going to go for it, then thought better of it. This one gets through everybody, no icing. Giving chase, Mount Academy's Emma Power. Inside 7 to play in the first. Now we'll see if anyone can turn on the Jets. Instead, it's taken back on the defensive side by Annabelle Matchett. As things have gone a little bit more end-to-end, really spread out. Neither team creating a scoring opportunity in the last 90 seconds or so. Ironbound running the set play, circling it around the cage. Passed up top, now moving into the slot, looking for the shot attempt, they got it, and there's the putback! Squeaked through. The initial shot from Reed Snyder was not held in there by Haley Turnbull. And then it was pounced on and finished by Caitlin U16. And it's the team out of Newark who's quickly out to the 2-0 lead. That goal coming at 10:46. So goals 3.5 minutes apart. But again, a play that was created by somebody else. On the first one, it was Anna Wittmer advancing up ice as Wiener ventures forward here, gets tripped up a little bit. Oh boy, that was nearly another opportunity to cash in from close range as Turnbull didn't seal it. Instead tried to pass it off to her right and nearly passed it to Wiener, who was coming through. All the way through traffic again, but it was Wittmer who set up the initial one with the gorgeous pass. And then the second time it was Snyder who tiptoed into a dangerous area, had the shot that Turnbull couldn't hold. And first to react, Caitlin Usselton. 2-0 Ironbound Elite in this first period, a period in which they have certainly looked like the more dominant side. That one does escape into neutral ice. Taken back there quickly by Scarlett Henson. Her pass off the mark. Puck hopping over sticks left and right. Taken back by McMillan for Mount Academy. Tried to shuttle it off the boards. Good forechecking play though by Avia Matthews. And Matthews gets possession back for her side. Now Matthews trying to get dispossessed herself. Taken back by Ironbound. There might be a pass across if they can get it there. That one goes off the inside of the post, and the second effort is there again. Just launching forward, tipped the weird hop off the post. And there to respond once again is an Ironbound player. This time it's Sarah Ponick. And an outstanding start for this team from Newark, New Jersey. 3 goals inside the first 12.5 minutes. That one you can't necessarily credit to Turnbull. It just took that funny hop off of the iron, came out into a dangerous area. But again, I've talked about being quickest to the puck. Every single time there's been a loose puck in a dangerous zone, Ironbound Elite has reacted first. That's not necessarily being faster skaters. There's a difference between speed and quickness. You always hear that cliche. So far in this matchup, you've seen Ironbound. They've reacted quicker, and they've pounced on 2 golden opportunities from close range. And then the first one was just gorgeous teamwork play. Still plenty of time, though, as Mount Academy tries to stuff it in on the dish to Power. But Power is denied at the post by Park. Played behind the net. Taken back by Ironbound again with space to move. Cross ice chip. Eventually finds its intended target of Gunthal. 3 players battle. That one was whipped off the back of the netting. And the trailing official blowing things to a halt. And it's going to be more bad news for the team from PEI, as Cudahy will head to the box for the next 2 minutes of the 3:15 remaining in period 1. Already trailing 3-0. An opportunity for Ironbound Elite to make this about as crooked a period as you can have, with 4 goals if they were to add another. And they have looked threatening every single time they've gotten down to this end of the ice. Pass across in space, trying to move the defense. Players battling in front, trying to impact the eye line of Turnbull. Always love to watch the shapes that you create. Look at everybody getting spread out, tried to pass it through the diamond that time, but it's cut out defensively and cleared down ice by Mount Academy. And we're going to have a high stick. And that will keep it at this end of the ice, so a break for Mount Academy, as that high sticking call will give them an offensive zone face-off. Still 1:24 left to kill, but if they could win this face-off, keep it at this end of the ice for about 15-20 seconds, that would really help them and their tired legs. Can't apply too much forecheck as that pass is off the mark. And again, flip down ice where Wiener retrieves. Pass up front to O'Brien. O'Brien, poke check, knocked it away from her. Held in there at the blue line, does not make it across. Usselton, scorer of goal number 2, in there on this power play. And Wiener was on the puck, but there was so much battling right in front of Turnbull's goal that the officiating crew blew things to a halt. And O'Brien is going to get called over, and she will head to the box. Talked about it in game 1, all the battling that takes place away from the puck in front of the crease during a power play. And had an opportunity to watch a little bit of the Providence men's practice beforehand, and one of the coaches was adamant about holding the goal. Holding the goal, well, what does that mean? It's sealing yourself, impacting eye lines, making things a mess as that one's lifted into the stands. But you see that get too much, and eventually the officiating crew is going to have to stop things, as you cannot impede the goalie. And that back and forth eventually did become too much. So for the second time today, we're in the midst of a 4-on-4 situation. The difference being that this time, once the initial penalty expires, then it will be Mount Academy who has about 90 seconds of 5-on-4 hockey. There is 1 second difference between the conclusion of this period and the expiry of the second penalty. So this will basically take us up to the first break. And Burrell loses it across. And Spurl not happy about it. Claire break. Carries it up past the red line, now gains the blue. still break. Takes the shot. Watched high there by Olivia Park. Inside of a minute to play. 5-on-4 hockey for Mount Academy for the remainder of this period. Can they get a goal back? Very close to another penalty. No call. Spurl moves it to the outside. Calls for it back and gets it. Has break to her left. Spurl trying to dance through a couple of defenders. Now wheels her way around the goal. Plays it on the backhand. Still looking for a teammate. Nothing home. That one chips out in a dangerous area. Nearly went off the back of the goalie and in. Cleared down ice. No icing because the power play's still on. Very nearly a fluky finish, but boy, would Mount Academy have loved that. Final 12 seconds. Just do not want to commit a turnover in this area of the ice, as that could allow one last attack. Here it comes. And that one off the stick. Could get sandwiched up here, and that will do it. But 3 goals in the first 12 and a half minutes for Ironbound Elite from Barbosa, Uselton, and Ponik. Give them a very handy 3-0 lead after 17 minutes of play. There is still 1 second left on the power play when we come out of it for a second period of action. Brief pause, and then we're back. Ironbound Elite 3 and Mount Academy nothing. One period down, and about as perfect a start as you can ask for Ironbound Elite. 3 goals in the first 17 minutes, all 3 of them coming in the first 12 and a half of that first period. We still have 1 second left on the penalty issued to O'Brien, so she'll be right out of the box when the puck drops here to start period 2. Switch sides, so now the long change. Mount Academy moving left to right in the white sweaters. Black numbers trimmed in red. Opposite them, Ironbound Elite in the blue. White numbers and helmets. Back to 5-on-5 hockey to start this second period. Goals in the first from Barbosa, Uselton, and Ponik for Ironbound Elite. Best goal was the first one, the dish from Whitmer to Barbosa. Held in by Barbosa. Taken back, though, by Mount Academy. That one lifted up high. 2-on-2 here. Good stick check by Kirkham. Tasha Kirkham tracking back defensively as a forward and getting that long stick in there. This one whipped through, but easily seen on its way through by Turnbull. Tried to go through the legs, but turned aside. As Whitmer tried to again show her skills. We've seen her speed and passing accuracy already today. She'll head for a change as Mount Academy takes the putt back. And Angela Bruno onto the ice, number 29, watches that one go by her as well as her goalie. and off to the right side where it's retrieved by the defensewoman. Good forechecking pressure by Lewis. 50-50 puck. Lewis gets there first. Touches up. That one hops high off the boards. Both teams battling for it. Eventually won back and held by, well, for the briefest of moments, by Ironbound. That one goes off the heel, kicks up, and now is taken. And there might be an opportunity if they can get the backhand pass, but instead, cut off beautifully as it made its way through. Lily Spurl was there. Shot attempt blocked. There the Mount Academy players banging their sticks in satisfaction after that one stopped on its way through on Viner's attempt. Pass into the middle, looking for Bask, instead taking out herself. Bask tried to shove it in. And again, very close, Savannah DeFino. With that thick, poofy hair trailing behind her helmet, trying to stuff it in there at the near post. Face-off won by Mount Academy. McMillan dances around one player, now tries to chase it in there where she's put under pressure by Alex O'Brien. O'Brien takes a tumble, and that one nearly funneled in as well. It's Mackenzie Woodford who tried to get that one in, but again, Olivia Park smothers. Left circle face-off this time in the Mount Academy attacking zone. Again, we will clean the ice after this period, take the longer break, and come back for the third as normal. Snyder tried to whistle it up the ice. Did eventually reach one of her teammates, and that one tried to go on the near post short side. Whistleton looking for her second. Now it's chased in there by Barbosa again. Whistleton. Whitmer circles around, tries to put on some forecheck. You see Ironbound, they're not going anywhere as they regain possession. Barbosa and Whistleton trying to combine as the puck gets mashed up against the near boards. Played behind again, long run for Barbosa. Couple fresh legs out there. And it's been a long shift for both these units. Taking up the boards and knocked right back down once again. No icing, of course, as that one pings off the boards before it hits the red line. And Ironbound applying more and more pressure. That pass-shot combo cut out fairly easily by Sarah Penny. Whip down ice. This will be an icing. (14-3) is currently the shot comparison. This has been all Ironbound from the initial puck drop. There's been a couple of looks, but nothing really clear-cut for Mount Academy. And you can tell that Ironbound is certainly not content to just sit on the three. They can sense there's more with the way that they're possessing the puck in the attacking zone. Ripped back off and down by Reeder. We have icing the other way. Shy of 5 minutes gone, second period. JWHL Providence showcase. Providence, then Boston just after the new year. Then off to hockey heaven in Minnesota. And after that, a lengthier break before the playoffs at the tail end of March. That's a tough save by far the best of the day, made by Olivia Park. Didn't know much about it. Reacted quickly to direct it wide. Played behind the net now by Jasitis. And here comes DeFino. Quickly out of there, though. Turnbull takes it and freezes it. Providence on their winter break. The hockey season typically pauses between mid-December and early January. Women's hockey play will not get back in action until the Friars take on Vermont just after the new year. Ooh, two players go hard into the boards. A little bit worse for wear on the Mount Academy side of things, but looks to be okay. That's Lily Spurl, who just seems to be getting involved in everything defensively. Park plays it safe, takes it into her possession, but that allows Mount Academy and her teammates to go for a change. And now Ironbound moves it up the near boards again. It's Barbosa. Good poke check in there to dispossess, but still held in at the blue line by Ironbound. Longest we've gone without a goal in this matchup so far. That chip forward, oh, very close. Icing will be whistled, but if that one could have been brought under control by Sarah Penny, would have had an opportunity to potentially bring it in one-on-one on the right cage. But just out of her reach, and still being outshot 14-4 are the Saints. Circles around to the near side again. Again, Mount Academy just having such difficulty clearing it toward the red line. Finally get it there. 1-2 passing. Is there an opportunity to break in here? Beautiful speed, but how about that snag? Park denying the incoming Emma Power. Showed her speed to get in there. Left the defensewoman in the dust. Got in there. Really dangerous area, but Park not only to make the stop, but to not spill it either. And a little bit of a flourish with the glove on the left hand too. Face off won by Brake and Mount Academy. Brake holds it in at right point. Diagonal puck across to Paquette. Ironbound has it, and they do get it down ice. Waiting for the hand to go up from the official, and there it is. See more icing in this second period alone than we have through the first two games to that point. And on this face-off, Elise Hooley going up against Samantha Reeder. Break. Backhanded back in there. It takes a little bit of a squirt through. And Park equal to it. 9:42 to play in period two. Things have shored up defensively for the Mount Academy side after conceding 3 goals in the first 13 minutes of the contest. Much better in this second period. If they can get this one back to a 2-goal game by the end of the second period, then questions might be asked in the third. Can't always go based off the number of shots. While that might tell the story of who's had more possession, hockey is a fickle game. Sometimes you just get a couple to squeak through, and that's all that really matters. Talk about the difference between shot volume and shot efficiency. The two are very different stats. Though to this point, they tell the same story. 3-0 Ironbound. Dunked down deep by Basque. Ironbound retrieves the puck. Weiner tried to get it past the blue line. There's an offside. So it did escape the blue paint before it chipped its way back in. And a little bit of frustration on the face of McMillan as she was hoping to be in there on goal. And currently there's a conversation taking place with the head coach of this Mount Academy team, Rebecca Babiak. I think she was saying that that did not escape the zone. Coach Babiak on the Mount Academy side, Sam Shima on the other for Ironbound. These are interesting weekends to be a coach. You don't necessarily get a chance to be with your team 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm not sure if you'd want to be. I don't care if you're a young men's or women's team. That's a lot of time to spend with teenagers. Thinking back to my teenage days, I don't think I want to spend 5 minutes with my teenage self, let alone a whole weekend. But you certainly get to know your teammates so well over the course of these trips, and especially for these teams that travel long distances. And we have teams from all across Canada, from British Columbia to Prince Edward Island. You cannot get farther east or west than those two provinces. You can certainly get more north. We do not have any teams from the Northwest or Yukon territories, that's for sure. It would be cool if we did, but we do not. Taken back by Mount Academy. Snyder got beat to the puck, and point blank whistled high. Emma Power has had 2 looks. The first was snagged by Park, and the second one she just directed off target. But the opportunity is starting to get a little bit more in favor of Mount Academy in this second period after they were thoroughly controlled in the first by Ironbound. The ebbs and flows of a hockey game. The difference so far, Ironbound has converted their opportunities, and Mount Academy has yet to. But again, they get one back, the Saints. There's the chance. Oh, how did that one stay out? Park again to the rescue. This time it's Emily LeBlanc who can't believe she didn't score. Oh, and that one is whipped into the bench area. Heads up Yi Peng, as that one went right into the backup goalie. I know they put up signs everywhere that says beware of flying pucks. They don't necessarily expect him to come in that fast though. But so far this second period has been the story of Olivia Park and what she has been able to deny on that side of the ice. It's been a quiet period for the most part for Haley Turnbull after she was very active in the first. That net off to the right's getting all the action in this game so far. Chipped up, foot race, won by Ironbound. Yasitis into the legs of a defensewoman. Getting her way was Matthews. O'Brien through traffic. That's why the traffic's there. A near backhand effort, but Turnbull gobbles it up. There's been so many loose pucks in dangerous areas. But so far, nothing cashed in period 2. After the 3 goals from Ironbound in the first from Barbosa, Uselton, and Ponick. It looks like we're going to have a timeout called by Ironbound Elite. We did not see a timeout called in our first game. And an interesting strategy here. Call a timeout pretty much right at the midpoint of the game. Your team's up 3-0. Well, why do you call a timeout here? Well, you can only speculate, but again, the opportunities are starting to mount for Mount Academy. So the defense is getting a little bit tired legs. And this is just an opportunity to reset things. And again, remind your players, not that they don't know, but that 3-0, the way Mount Academy has played in this second period is not insurmountable. You get the first one back, suddenly there's hope, and you can peg in the second and ultimately the third. You get it back to 3-2, and usually you just feel that it's only a matter of time as the momentum is completely shifted. So this is an opportunity, up 3-0. You only get one timeout in hockey, so use it or lose it. Use it effectively, and this is the time where Ironbound's coaching staff believe that this was the right time to use it. But we'll see if they set something up. Offensive zone face-off. It'll be in that right face-off circle. Can you draw something up? They get a fourth goal. Chances are you're chalking up 2 points now. But this next goal, for whichever team it comes, will really dictate how this match is played for here on out. And after this, we will follow it up back in the U19s. We'll see Washington Pride once again for the second time today. And they'll be going up against Pacific. Then we'll have this same Ironbound team. They'll be back on the ice, taking on the U16 version of that Washington Pride squad. Before we have Stansted College and Northwood in our nightcap in the U19s as well. A huge weekend of contests taking place between here at Schneider Arena at Providence and just across I-95 at Brown University, home of the Bears. Taken back by Mount Academy, deflected off high off of one of the defensewomen. Dangerous pass out front. Mount Academy tried to knock it down. Holding her post and knocking it behind again was Park. 5.5 to play in this period. No goals, but no shortage of opportunities. And now this one skates through. Foot race. There's the hold. Here comes the penalty. Here comes the goalie, Park. Will play 6-on-5 for the next couple of seconds. Ironbound trying to score on the delayed penalty. There's the touch. And it'll be 2 minutes of woman up for the team that's already up 3-0. No doubt about the hold. Lily Spurl was she got beat on the initial step. And at that point had no choice but to hold on for dear life, take the 2 minutes, but prevent a clear-cut scoring opportunity to make it 4-0. Mount Academy caroms it off the boards. Retreating and retrieving is Reed Snyder. Whipped down ice. Off the corner boards where Park retrieves. Park gives it up to match it. Just one player putting on a little bit of pressure for Mount Academy. Now they got to get back. Trying to hold that high line. Ironbound gains the zone. That pass through two teammates rather than at either of them. Retrieved by Matchett again. Brought out top. Pass to the near side, Snyder. Snyder through all the bodies, and Turnbull holds. Again, we talked about it in the first period. I always say your inclination as a fan is to watch the puck, and obviously as a broadcaster is to do the same. But I'm sure that all the scouts and coaches that are potentially looking at these players, they're looking at what's happening away from where the puck is necessarily. What's happening in front of the net? Who's moving on the outside? Who's forcing the defense to move in a different direction that they don't want to move? And as far as the defense is concerned, how are they maintaining their shape? Is anyone being baited into getting out of position that would create an alleyway for someone to get into? These are the things that we don't look for as casual fans, that the people that watch this sport religiously are. As Turnbull snags that one in the left-handed catcher's glove once again. 59 seconds gone on the power play. Similar to our first matchup, despite the power plays, no goals have been scored in woman-up hockey, although there was a goal scored in woman-down by the Washington Pride earlier in period 1. We'll see that Pride team coming out next. And 3 o'clock scheduled puck drop as the connection wasn't quite there, but nice 1-2 passing. Turnbull makes the save, but Usselton was looking for her second. Just that short pass from the slot to the left. Quick reflexes to cut down both angles by Turnbull, who has grown into this game and looks a lot more sure-handed in this second period. Pass across, switching circles, that one through. Comes up to the near boards this time. Weiner has it deflect off of a stick out of play and retrieved back behind the far blue line. 20 seconds left of 5-on-4 for Ironbound. Oh, how about that move? Off the post. Would have been a highlight reel goal. Whitmer's already have a highlight assist. We see it again, the stick handling. And denied by a combination of Turnbull and post. Power play is over. Good stick check in there to dispossess. This can be an icing, but because it's near enough to the goal, Park has to cover it up, and you see the frustration. I think she knows that that would have gone past her post, would have been an icing. Instead, she's forced to cover, and rather than a face-off at the other end of the ice, it's going to be in the right face-off circle, offensive zone for Mounts Academy. It's a big 2 minutes and 59 seconds for both teams. A goal on either side here completely changes the trajectory of the game. 22-7 is the shots on target comparison in favor of Ironbound. But this has been a very level second period. Played in there off the boards. Trying to repossess it is Power. She's had the 2 best scoring opportunities, bar none, for Mounts Academy. The first one she weaved in herself and got stuffed by a stunning save by Olivia Park. And the second one, still not even sure how Park got to, as it took a funny hop off of the post, came out top, and again it was Park sprawling to knock it away. Face off won cleanly by Ironbound. Played along the boards again. Taken back there deep by Stein-Trujillo. Stein-Trujillo has it. And one of just 3 members of the 2024 class on this Ironbound roster, number 4 in blue. She takes a tumble, but got the skate in there to make at least the initial deflection. Now she puts some pressure on. Skirts its way back into the defensive zone for Ironbound. That pass a little bit too slow and was taken away right at the red line, but eventually makes its way back down with about 1:50 to go. In this second period, it remains Ironbound 3 and Mounts Academy nothing. Plenty of time. That one gets through. Dropped behind by Turnbull. Still there for the Elite. Possession taken back by Usselton. Pass out front. Tried to get the deflection out front was Whitmer. Boy, she's been everywhere. Anna Whitmer has a stunning assist today. Almost has a goal. And tried to shove that one in right in front of the crease that time. Barbosa gives chase. Puck taken away just in front of her and knocked down ice. This should be an icing though. No, it's not going to roll far enough. Final 65 seconds, great front ice pass. Taken through the circle. Chipped free though and taken back by Goldie, the captain for Mounts Academy, who knocks it down. Pressure being put on. Ooh! Very surprised that a whistle didn't sound there, as nearly getting dragged down was the Elite player. This play going to get blown dead by the officiating crew again. And it's going to be Matthews who heads to the box. So ultimately, on the slash, I think Ironbound will feel that justice was done after they had a player dragged down mere moments before. Certainly looked like a penalty. But the slash comes shortly thereafter, and still 2 minutes. Now this penalty will bridge the gap between periods 2 and 3, which I always feel does lessen the effectiveness a little bit. You don't get the full 2 minutes on either side, so you got to be a little bit more crisp and effective with less time before you hit the whistle. "17 seconds to play. Pass out top from the point all the way through. I think a glove got there first from Cudahy. Played off the carom with 5. Mount Academy just content to sandwich this up against the boards. Is there one last shot attempt? There's the pass, and there goes the horn. There was one last look, but it was cut out before it could get to its intended target. And after 17 minutes in that second period of thrilling hockey, there were no goals. But it remains a 3-0 lead for Ironbound Elite through 34 minutes of action. So we'll pause, the teams will retreat to their locker rooms, and we will get the Zamboni out onto the ice. And when we come back, it'll be third period action between Ironbound Elite and Mount Academy. You're watching the JWHL Showcase here in Providence.
we should. Well, everything around New York.
Yeah.
Unless you time it perfectly.
When I drive electric vehicle, going home is worse because
Yeah, for some reason I always have the tendency to get assigned the early or the showcases because no one else will do them. The worst I ever did was pop drop at the 10:50. You finished just shy of 1 in the morning. It was a Sunday night show. Why did I do this? Tingsboro, Massachusetts. If I was a kid, I think I'd love it.
Hello again, welcome back. Third period on the way between Mount Academy and Ironbound Elite. This is the 16 and under division, JWHL. This Providence leg of the season, with still legs to come. Just west of Boston in Wellesley, Mass, Minnesota, and the playoffs at the tail end of March. But this outstanding rink alongside Brown University and their home ice rink just about 10 minutes or so away as one drives, moving from North Providence to East Providence. And as we start this third and final period of regulation, it remains 5-on-4 hockey in favor of Ironbound Elite for the next 75 seconds. As the slashing penalty and the latter stages of that second period still in effect. So still over in the penalty box on the far side of the ice, Avia Matthews. It was a highly contested second period, had everything except the goals. Some really strong goaltending on both sides, particularly two great stops by Olivia Park to deny power a couple of times. At penalties, we just did not have the scoring that we had in that first period where Ironbound put 3 past in the opening 12 and a half minutes. That one through all the bodies. Backhanded look, denied again. Second chance effort by Uselton, but knocked away by Turnbull. He's really settled into this game and has kept it where it is at 3, but that one whistles by her right post. 17 seconds left of 5-on-4 hockey for Ironbound. That pass not necessarily perfect, but it did the trick nonetheless, but the shot sails high. Whitmer holds it in. One player goes for a change for the Elite. Back out to Whitmer. Teammate coming to help. That one kicked free. Second chance. It's denied by Turnbull again. Matthews is out of the box. Initially went as if she was going to go for a change, but stays out on the ice in her defensive position instead. Off the carom. Goes to Turnbull. Gives it to her defensewoman. He loses possession of the puck, but still held there by number 14 in white. That's Power, who again really feels like she should have at least one after her performance in the second period, but Park had other ideas. We will see this Ironbound team again here. 5 o'clock, so the stream won't change. You want to see them again. Elite player takes a tumble. Spurl comes the other way. Whipped through traffic for the first time. Park does not glove it cleanly, but no one there to pounce on it. For Mount Academy. That one knocked through. Intended target was Kirkham. Spurl directs it to the side, but nobody was there except for an Ironbound player. Turnbull equal to the shot attempts. You saw Spurl. She knocked it to her right, then looked as if to say, where is everybody? And the shot attempt from Jasitis, I should say, gloved and frozen. One more would certainly put this out of reach, you'd feel like, as that one just went high from Jasitis. Didn't get great purchase on it, but it nearly ducked in over the goalie's head. Mount Academy probably needs one in the next 5 minutes or so to give themselves a realistic chance of pulling the monumental comeback. There is a delayed penalty here, and Mount Academy's going to have their chance. At least they thought that the penalty was on Ironbound. It's actually on Mount Academy. Looked like I thought the cross-check was going to go the other way, I'll be perfectly frank. But instead, it's Avia Matthews who is in the penalty box again. The shot tally has grown even more demonstrative. 26-8 in favor of Ironbound. It does feel like Mount Academy has more than 8 shot attempts. And that one's through! Left circle wrister. And I think it's Weiner. It is. Sasha Weiner rips that one through. And I know that her mom's on camera right now, so pleased with that wrist shot attempt from the left circle. And finally, that 4th goal goes in. So a power play goal from Weiner at 3:31 of this 3rd period. Makes it 4-0 in favor of Ironbound, and make it 5. Mere seconds later, the breakaway, and you just had the feeling that that 4th broke Mount Academy's backs, and you see why. Seconds later, Barbosa has her 2nd of the game. Just 12 seconds it took to score from the 4th goal to the 5th. It took well over 20 to get from 3 to 4. Takes 12 seconds to get from 4 to 5. And now this 5-0 scoreline really does indicate that 28-8 discrepancy in shot comparison. And now, if you're Ironbound, you're looking up at that scoreboard and you're seeing the 0 more than you're seeing the 5. It's the beauty of this sport, is that even in a game like this, there is something that Ironbound will be fighting for. And that is the goose egg that Chloe Park is looking to protect. And her defense and offense in front of her. That one went off of the leg, I believe, of a player entering the bench area. And so that one blown dead. It will stay in neutral ice. Right face-off dot. Won by Hooley and Mount Academy. Escapes past the red and blue. Now it's a foot race. Will be won by the Mount Academy defensewoman with 12 minutes to play. Lengthy battle in front of the net. Opportunity save initially. Still there, haven't heard the whistle yet. I think the players are assumed that it had blown, and it hadn't. Turnbull had a bunch of swipes at it trying to cover it up. Eventually the freeze is successful. Mount Academy, this is their lone game today. They played twice yesterday against Balmoral Hall and against the Washington Pride. So they will be off for the remainder of today, and they will play. I take that back. Yes, it was Washington Pride yesterday. And they will play tomorrow very early. They have this 7 a.m. game at Brown. We have 3 games tomorrow at the home of the Bears as an interference penalty will be called against Ironbound. So Ironbound into the penalty box. This time it's going to go against Stein Trujillo. But just the lone U16 game in the morning. But that 7 a.m. puck drop is certainly going to be a early morning wake up. And again, Prince Edward Island is an hour ahead of us in the Eastern time zone. That is a 6 a.m. puck drop. That one whistled through. I take that back other way around. 8 a.m. puck drop for you out in PEI. So a little bit better for your Sunday morning. Of course, everybody getting warmed up for the World Cup final tomorrow. That one escapes into neutral ice. Taken back by Mount Academy. 30 seconds gone on the interference minor against Talia Stein Trujillo. Just miscommunication on that pass all the way back to Turnbull. Mount Academy just trying to find something to take away from this game. Going to be an early riser tomorrow. There's the shot and the score, and Mount Academy celebrating like they just won the matchup. Another loose puck, and it's pounced on and finished by Sarah Penny. 6:34 of this third period, and the shutout is off the board. Just relentless pursuit of the puck out front, laid in the crease. I always find it hysterical when that happens. You're on ice, everything should slide, and the puck just sits on a platter waiting for somebody to pounce on it, and it's Sarah Penny who does. And Mount Academy, again, just wanting to take something from this game. You can tell how much that one meant to them to get it on that score sheet. So a power play goal for Mount Academy. Ironbound going right back into the attack. Nice little drag play. Now it's Morgan Barbosa, who's currently sitting on a hat trick. Goals in the first and third period for her. Worth noting that Ironbound is not a permanent member of the JWHL. On the U16 side, NAHA, Mount Academy, Washington Pride, and Stansted College, who we saw at the U19 level earlier. Those are the 4 permanent members of the JWHL. Ironbound invited to this invitational. Another delayed penalty, this one delayed for only mere seconds. Holding will be the call. They got to figure out who's headed to the penalty box, and now they do. It's Ava Gunthel for Ironbound. I'll say this, if Mount Academy can score on this power play, it'll restore that 3-goal deficit that they started the period with, and they'll still have almost half the period to go. Still an uphill battle, but you saw the way they celebrated that first goal. Just imagine how they'd celebrate a second one on this power play after scoring on their last one. This one through all the legs, taken away in front of Park and chipped out toward the red line. Retreating and retrieving his break. Passes it forward. Gaining the offensive zone. Pass across intended for Kirkham. Weaved around the boards. And that one will escape into neutral ice. 8:20 to play, 1:10 remaining on 5-on-4 for Mount Academy. Mount Academy 2-3-1 so far in this regular season. Stansted College has not fielded a team for any JWHL games so far, so that is why Ironbound is in this invitational, because there's only so many teams here at the U16 level. Mount Academy, Washington Pride, and this Ironbound team just the 3 teams, so just playing their own little mini invitational. Very nearly a trip on Justice, but they play on. This is Mount Academy's second game of the day, so I mentioned that they're done for the rest of it. That's because, like they will tomorrow, they played in the very early game this morning over at Brown. They're one of just a couple of teams that actually has to switch venues over the course of the day, which isn't hard, but that means you can't just keep your giant hockey bags in one place. You have to pack them all up, get them back onto the bus, then transport them from one side of Providence to the other, which isn't hard. It's, again, only about 10 minutes across I-95 to get from technically North Providence, where we are now, to East-ish Providence. East Providence is its own thing, and that's not where Brown is, but it's east of where we are. So we'll call it East Providence, and that's what it's referred to on the air for the Bears. But with 7:06 left, Mount Academy unable to score on that power play. Back to full strength again. Ironbound still leading at 5-1. 2 goals in 12 seconds earlier in this period, really putting the final stamp on what should be 2 points for them. The Mount Academy able to play spoiler on the shutout. Sarah Penny pouncing on a puck that sat in the crease on a power play, and now Ironbound looking to add more. That chip through the painted area. Turnbull let it go through wisely. Now it's Power. There's been someone who deserved a goal in this game for Mount Academy. It's probably her. There's 2 outstanding saves by Park to keep her off the score sheet. Trying to weave through everybody. The Ironbound attacker. This one came loose, and Barbosa just missed the hat trick. Taken back left defense circle. Tip through the legs. Two players come together. It was LeBlanc who went down to the ice. That one scooted away from Penny. And now giving chase in there deep. One player from each side. 5.5 or so to go in this one. We will roll it right back after this. We'll take the time to clean the ice, but it's going to be pretty much a quick restart from here on out through the rest of the evening. We'll see the same Washington Pride team that we saw earlier today. And they'll be taking on the team that traveled the furthest to get here, the team from British Columbia. That one shepherded through the blue paint, but nobody was there to tap home. And now Mount Academy with their captain Lewis, or alternate captain Lewis, I should say, tries to put another one through. Mount Academy bench trying to urge their team on to grab that second goal. Tried to shove it in front. Clark got big, made the stop. Now 2-on-3 the other way. Poke check to take it away. Tired legs for sure for Mount Academy. Always tough. You're finishing up your second game of the day. Ironbound is still playing their first. So you imagine that Ironbound, in addition to being a little bit more skilled, as Bruno will get called for a penalty here for Ironbound. Ironbound has looked like the better team, and they're the fresher team. So that is not a recipe for success, but Mount Academy fighting hard. Bruno will go to the box for 2 minutes, but 32-12. The shot on target comparison. As I said, it doesn't always tell the story, but more often than not, when you have that large a discrepancy in shots on target, you expect to be winning the hockey game, and Ironbound is. 27 saves for Turnbull. Park has only faced 12 shots total in this contest. Getting those wickets closed right at the last second was Sasha Weiner. Very nearly snuck in between, and now there is an Ironbound player down. Collided hard with the boards, but looks to be okay as she applies the move. Then it flips up front. Broken play on both sides. Taken back by Ironbound, playing 4-on-5. Weiner looking for her second. DeFino whips it in there. Weaves its way around once again. Barbosa still sitting on 2 goals. Looking for our first hat trick of the day. DeFino had it knocked off of her stick. But Mount Academy, despite being woman up, cannot get it anywhere close to just getting out of their defensive zone. Ooh, very close to another trip. This entire power play a little bit broken right now for Mount Academy, as that one's held by Turnbull. But I think these last 90 seconds where Mount Academy is on the power play and yet can't even get out of their zone, it's really the first time where it has been very obvious which team is approaching 100 minutes played and which team is approaching 50 today. Because Mount Academy is just completely gassed at this point. They had all that effort just to get that first goal. Big weight off their shoulders to get it. But now the bodies switch, while youthful, still teenagers where it feels like they have boundless energy. We know teenagers, they do things a billion miles an hour and then they want to sleep. And right now their bodies would like to sleep. And you can't blame them. Officials blow the whistle. Offside is the call. 2:15 left, 5 seconds left on the minor penalty against Bruno of Ironbound. Played off the ricochet. Tried to swipe that one across. Went through the crease, but again, nobody there to touch up. Long run. Defino passes across. Retrieved. Blocked. Getting the body in the way was Cudahy. And Mount Academy has it back as we approach 100 seconds to go. See if they can get Barbosa in there for one last line to potentially get that third goal. Bruno out of the penalty box, passes across, and it's through. Turnbull thought she had it, but got beat 5-hole. And didn't quite get the connection. But it works nonetheless for Scarlett Hansen. Makes it 6-1 at 15:42 of the third. So 3 goals in the first period, 3 goals in the third, supplying plenty for the side of Ironbound Elite. They got a really strong second period for Olivia Park. Made a couple really good saves when it was 3-0 and Mount Academy was trying to mount that charge. Backhanded effort. Paddled aside inside of a minute. 37-12, now 38-12. Shots on target in favor of the Elite, who have looked elite, that's for sure. And again, we will see Ironbound Elite in 2 games' time. They'll have a game off, as we'll have Washington Pride and Pacific up next. And Washington Pride U16, which played really early this morning against this Mount Academy side. They've had a really long break. And they will face off in the 5 o'clock game against this Ironbound unit. We wrap up the night with Stansted College and Northwood, 7 o'clock puck drop. As I said, Mount Academy will play at the 7 a.m. puck drop. Again, the early puck drop for them tomorrow against the Washington Pride. Ironbound's tournament finishes tonight. They do not play tomorrow, but we will get to see them again. And as time runs out on this one, a really outstanding game again. Plenty of goals, really high quality play, moments on both sides, but certainly the better team coming out after a 39-12 finish in terms of shots on goal. It is the Elite who win it by a final score of